Hello, you're very welcome to Gerry's DIY. Today we're going to make lots of hot water for free with my homebrew waste oil burner stove. Here we go. So over the last year or so, this has been my go-to stove. You know, I just come out here, it's cold, light it, 10 minutes later I've plenty of heat and no smoke. So fantastic output stove, fantastic little stove. Looks a bit mad, but works really, really well. So I'll give you a quick rundown on my boiler stove. This is a propane bottle, you know, 3 foot high maybe by 14 inches in diameter. It holds about 24 gallons of water. This is your standard 55 gallon or whatever standard oil drum. You know, I cut a hole in the bottom of it, I welded a flue on the back, and that's essentially it. So there's a space between the propane bottle and the outer wall of the oil drum, and in that space there's going to be hot gases which will envelop, if you like, this propane bottle, which is full of water. And then it'll transfer its heat into the water. I'll end up with hot water. So here's the setup with this boiler stove. It's very easy. We've got an oil drum, you know, an oil container, you know, with oil up to here at the moment. I've got a lever valve so I can switch the oil on and off. 1/2 inch feed pipe down into it. 1/2 inch gate valve then so I can meter the oil. And then we've got a T-piece. I did this one the other night, and I welded on a couple of lugs so I could keep it away from the side walls, because these side walls are going to get hot and this paint is going to melt off as well. But anyway, it's standing out about 3 inches off the side of the oil drum. It comes down through 1/2 inch copper pipe. I drilled a hole at an angle through the side wall of the oil drum, and it goes into my, you know, my waste oil burner. Now you've seen these waste oil burners before. I won't go through it now, but I'll give a link up here. And that's it. That's the setup. We've got an oil burner, we've got an oil drum, we've got water in a propane bottle above it. It's very simple. We have it hooked up to a 6-inch flue, which goes up maybe 4 meters, or maybe a tiny bit more than 4 meters. That's the setup. Now the plumbing is not connected to anything at the moment. At the moment we've got 24 gallons of water sitting in that propane bottle. So there's no gas in that bottle. It's absolutely full to the brim of water. I'm right up to here with water. So there's a little bit for expansion, but when this starts going, it's going to expand by a large amount, I would imagine, and it's going to glug out of these things. That's all right. In the next video, I'll do the actual plumbing. This will be an open vented system. It'll be fed from a header tank for anybody interested. It won't be sealed system. I'm not putting safety valves or anything like that on it. I won't need them because it won't be confined. The water can expand out as it wants. We're going to run this, you know, I don't want to make steam out of this, so 60 degrees or 70 degrees, and I can switch it off. So because this propane tank is made out of iron or steel or whatever, when I pass fresh water through that, it's going to come out rusty or with an element of rust in it. Right, that's okay for some applications and for others not. But I'll solve that problem, that's not a big issue. And in the next video when I do the plumbing, I'll address that, and there'll be plenty of clean hot water out of this setup. So we're going to light it now. Here we go. So I want to light the stove. What I'm going to use is a fire starter, fire lighter we call them, and some kerosene. You could use diesel here either. Don't use gasoline. Okay, here we go. I'm going to break this in two, and I'll light them first. Now, there's not a lot of gas left in this one, but okay, I'll just get it going. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but the smoke is actually being drawn into the unit, mostly. That's a good sign. Okay, we'll let that take a bit, and we'll throw in another one, and we'll give it a squirt of trick is not to put out the fire lighter when I squirt in the kerosene. So I'm just letting that take a bit. Okay, so I don't know, I didn't show what I had in it at the start, but the bottle was quite full. And that's what we have in it now. So I didn't use an awful lot of kerosene. Before I even go anywhere, I know this paint is going to go off it. I'm going to have to open the garage door, the shed door, to let all the smoke out and so on. And I'm going to have to keep an eye on things. This is a forced air system, so I'm going to have the exhaust from a vacuum cleaner today. That's all I'm going to use as a blower. This is the blower pipe. It comes in through the bottom. So the air comes in this way and blows air up this way, up into my unit. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking out the smoke now at the moment. Make sure all the fumes are traveling up. I do expect maybe some of the smoke to come out of this. It's just the way it's set up today, but that's not an issue. Okay, so I have the main valve open. I'm going to meter some oil in. Okay, so skinny stream. Now maybe you can see it dripping out of the pipe there, I'm not sure. Now the smoke is being drawn into the unit. I haven't put the air on, so no forced air feed yet. I'm just going to put a little bit more kerosene into it. Okay. So on the other camera you can see the flames lapping the side of the propane bottle. At the moment we've just got oil dripping into the container, we've got air going in the front door, and it'll be smoky outside. But the system was designed for forced air and then it'll be clean. So I'm going to put the forced air on now. Here we go. This is going out to a vacuum cleaner, and I'm using the exhaust of the vacuum cleaner today only as the blower. So here we go. I haven't seen this myself yet, so okay, so beginning to smoke out the door. Now I imagine we have to get the flue hod first, so this is new to me. Okay, I'll have to put the door a little bit lower. Okay, so that's a design thing, we'll change a bit. So I've just checked my oil stream. I need the door closed, partially open on this thing. So if I open it, it smokes a bit. And that's only because the blower is actually blowing the air out this side. No big problem, I can sort that out if I put the door slightly lower or raise the propane bottle or whatever. Now I would love to put a glass door on this so you can see the flames. I always put doors on them. I like looking at the flame myself. But for today, this is the way it's set up. I need the door partially closed or mostly closed so that I don't get any smoke from the unit out into the room. That's fantastic, no problem. In normal operation, I'll have some sort of a vent or a grill there. I can see the paint beginning to melt off the side of this. I'm gonna have to open the door now so that, you know, I'm not inhaling it. Okay, but it's looking great. Here we go. When this water container gets hot enough, I'm going to shut the whole operation down because I've no way of getting rid of the heat. Okay, I have to open the door now. Here we go. Now you can see we're losing the paint off the outside of the unit. Getting a bit dangerous now, so I'm just going to shut off the oil. So the burner unit itself is going really well. The paint on the inside of the unit is burning too. Maybe I should have done this outside, but... Okay, so we'll just calm things down a bit. Now, at the moment it's just working like an ordinary stove. You know, okay, it's got a bit of oil in it. We're losing the paint off the outside of it. And the shed is full of smoke. I knew this was going to happen, but... Now the boiler part of the stove is working fine. I've smoke down to here in the shed. I'm just letting things calm down a bit. I have the oil switched off and I have the fan switched off. And we're just burning off the paint. Now there's oil burning in the bottom of this, minus the blower, so it's not going to be clean. I didn't design this one to be normally aspirated. Absolute success. I'll bring up the temperature of the water in a minute. I'll just wait until some of the smoke clears first. Here we go. Now I'm trying to stay down below the smoke level. You can see the paint burning off the outside of the drum. That was to be expected. I might have to shut it down again because I don't want any flames on the outside of this. I don't want that smoke to combust, you know. Obviously it's dangerous. But just so you can see it, the outside of the stove, you know, as a storage space heater is working at about 388 C. And the top through the smoke, our water's up to 50 degrees C. You have to make sure, this is mental dangerous, you've got to make sure that the water in there does not contact with that oil, otherwise it's a disaster. Big time. Right, that's at 412 degrees. The burner is going fantastically well, but it's maybe a bit oversized, if you like, for this unit. So I'm going to shut it all down. There's paint burning on the outside of the unit. Okay, maybe it's time to shut it down now. And look, in that space of time the water's gone up to 60. 57 at the top. I'm staying down below the smoke level, obviously. You You gotta be so careful doing this. Still a 58 on the top, but lower down 64. So there, you know, we've got a good progression. I only wanted 60-degree water out of this thing. I let it go up a little bit higher just for the video, and then I'm going to stop it. Paint for the most part is vaporized. So there's 24 gallons of water in that propane bottle, and we're raising that. We can work out like what the output of this thing is. It's savage. It's not done the most efficient way either, but we've just got so much heat, it doesn't matter a whole lot. Now there's no baffles or anything in here directing the heat to keep it in contact with this propane bottle. If I wanted to make it more efficient, I'd run a tube up the middle of it or whatever. Look, I don't really have to. We've got so much heat here. If all I want is a bit of hot water, I don't have to go mental on the design. But I could make it an awful lot more efficient if I wanted. .66 degrees. I've got a Canada at 75. I don't want to go to steam. But this is a prototype. This is, you know, prototype A, you know, 1.1. And it's working. I knew it would. So there you go. Look, there's my little burner on the go. It's absolutely belting out the heat. You know, very hard to tell if it's smoking or not because I'm getting the smoke from the inside of the unit. But there's very, very little. Despite that, there's very, very little coming out of the stack outside at the moment. But when all the paint has gone off the inside of this thing, and I redesigned the door a bit, or the burner, you know, if I put a splash guard on the burner, I've got a fan in there blowing the smoke. It's actually blowing the smoke out the door. If I put a kind of a guard in there, I can deflect that and get it to go back into the unit. It's no problem. Okay, so there's the flame. Absolutely brilliant. But that is hot. Okay, there's the setup. As I said, I left it open vented so that, you know, nothing would blow up. I put this on to take the water away. You can't have water mixed with the oil. This water here is the expansion of that unit, and that's okay as well. Look, there's our smoke situation. Okay. There's our burner. I don't know if I can get this to pick it up. There's our oil at the moment. I can turn that down. But remember, this is just, you know, experimental. Now this is going to head up on 100 degrees if I let it. Right, so shut down procedure. Let's shut off the oil. Shut off the regulator. I don't need to do that, but we're going to just shut it down. And there you go. That's the temperature of the water in there. It's at 78. And I didn't want it going any more than that. Okay, so there you go. I've got 24 gallons of 75 or 78 degree hot water. No problem. Could have gone to steam with it if I'd have wanted it in just a few minutes. The burner unit itself, absolutely fantastic. Now, I designed that burner to work normally aspirated, and today I had it working, you know, as a force air-fed burner, and it worked absolutely fantastic. It made an absolute ton of heat. Now, probably oversized for this little unit. I could make a smaller one, but look, you know, given that the burner itself cost me $5 to make, maybe even less. I made a couple of them after that on bits and pieces I had around the place. The oil drum I got for free, the propane bottle I had around the place anyway, and again, you'd get them for free or for very little. Piece of copper pipe, a few plumbing fittings, you know, and a plastic drum for oil. And I made a ton of hot water, and I could make hot water all day long out of it. Absolutely no problem. Free hot water forever. I don't know, but absolutely free. So look, there you go. I'm going to leave it there for now. There's more to come in the next videos. I'm going to refine this a little bit. This is prototype A. This never existed before. And there you go. I said I'd get it working, and it's working now. Fantastic, which is amazing. Amazes me. So look, if you liked the video, please thumbs up, subscribe down here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks very much. Good luck. Bye.